Hello, everyone. This is Live Life Well TV host Robert Landau with another episode of How to Be Okay When Things Aren't. How to be your own best friend. And that's not only the title of this episode of How to Be Okay When Things Aren't, it's what we're going to talk about. So stay tuned. Question. Would you consider yourself to be your own best friend? All too often, we like to call best friends those souls who are outside of us, who are other people. But the question becomes, in pursuing various relationships with people, as we go through various events in life, both positive and negative, particularly the trying and difficult events, we tend to drop our guard. We tend to give of ourselves in a way that might just be a little too much, to where we feel not as whole, we feel less than we should be. We've given away so much a part of ourselves that at times we're not even aware of who we truly are, or certainly who we were before we started to give so much of ourself away. It's very easy to love others, at least for most people. It's very easy to care for others. It's so easy to be of service and help others, particularly when they need it the most. But the question I have for you is this: do you treat yourself as well as you treat the others that you deeply care for? And a lot of the time, we don't. We tend to give and give and give and give until there's nothing left for ourselves. We've been taught to consider thinking of ourselves first as something that is selfish, that is egotistical. How could you do that? You're so full of yourself. You're a narcissist. Well, I don't believe that's the case. If you can't care for yourself first, if you can't put yourself at the top of your list unselfishly, with no ego involved in that process, then how can you treat others the same way? How can you make others just as important as you? If you don't make yourself important, it's not going to be that easy to make others. And that also goes to say, if you don't know what it is to be your own best friend, if you don't know how it feels to love yourself the way you love others, I'd ask you to take a look at that. Not that there's anything incredibly wrong with that, but I think you're doing yourself an incredible injustice. You deserve to be loved. You deserve to have a best friend. And maybe you do, and maybe you are loved, but are you loved by yourself? If you're not, think about doing that. It might be easier than you think. I used to have a profound lack of self-love for many, many, many years, and it took a toll on my personality. And even though I gave so much to others, just about all I had, because I didn't care for myself, because I didn't care about myself, I was not my own best friend, which meant to say that I really didn't know how to have a true best friend because I wasn't my own best friend. You can only give to others what it is that you acknowledge that you have within yourself. So how do you turn that around? Well, I decided to look at my good qualities, make a list of them. I can't remember when it was that I did this and what I wrote down, but I think I came up with 4 or 5. Now, if you had asked me to list my negative qualities and what I didn't like about myself, that was probably 4 pages long. But I shifted things. I changed the channel from the negative into the positive. And I felt like, you know what? If all you could come up with, Robert, is 4 or 5 things that are special about you, that's great. Bathe in that, revel in that. Don't focus on the 3 pages of bad things, because you know what? They're probably not real anyway. Stick with what's true. Stick with what's real. Stick with what it is about you that makes you special. And if you don't think you're special, I would ask you to think again. Love yourself. It's very easy to do. You live with yourself all this life. Why not develop a great relationship with yourself? So, how do you be your own best friend? Do things that you love. Sometimes doing those things alone is a great way to be with yourself, to be with your true self. Stay in bed just a little bit longer and feel how good that feels. Watch some of your favorite TV shows. Feel how good that feels. Laugh at things that are funny. Feel how good that feels. Be thankful for so many of the many things that you have and feel how good that feels. Doing just those very simple things begins to open the door once again for a relationship between you and you. That's how you become your own best friend. And consider this before I close. Maybe you've always been your own best friend all this time, but you might have been the only one who forgot that very real and true fact. Being your own best friend allows you to have such a better life, a happy life, a more fulfilling life, because you're fulfilling yourself. And in turn, you can give all that wonderful energy to others, unlike the way you've done that any time before. Congratulations. You're starting to open the door back to yourself, back to living life for you in a very positive and healthy way. That's being your own best friend. That's caring for yourself the way nobody else can care for you. This has been Robert Landau, Live Life Well TV host, with another episode of How to Be Okay When Things Aren't. Thank you for tuning in.